Well, hello and welcome back to the channel. I'm Dave.
I'm Jill.
And this is Vandromeda's Travels. Hey, that was nearly scripted.
It was.
It was very good. As you may have known, as you'll have seen from the last video, if indeed you've watched it, and if you have, thank you very much. We went down to Harrogate last weekend, the Harrogate show, and we had 4 nights away, and we've learned some stuff. We've made some changes. We've bought some things which we'll run through. But one of the major ones that I never saw coming was we've got shot of the duvets, haven't we?
Yeah.
As you'll see in shots coming up, there are now just duvets on the 2 single beds at the back of the van, isn't there?
There are, yes.
Tell them why.
Well, the duvets that we had, the mattresses, no, not the mattress,
it's the top a bit.
The top a bit is quite a bit narrower than the single beds. Now, in the previous van, that was fine because we slept on, we converted the settees, didn't we, into beds, and that was fine. But now we've got a proper mattress. I found it quite restricting to have the duvet on, which I'm really sad about because I actually love them. But we tried it with duvets and fitted sheets, and what huge difference.
Massive difference.
For us.
Massive difference. I think the thing is, when we were using the settee cushions, there's like a lip at the front. I don't know why that is, to stop your bum from falling off, probably. And the duvets seemed to fit into that, so you didn't feel. Whereas even I, and I'm not that fussy, I can sleep on a razor's edge, on the bed, it felt as though I was dropping off the edge of the duvet toppery bit, not the duvet bit. And that just made you want to crawl further in. I now, on that 83 centimetre wide mattress, we know because Jill measured it with a tape measure, and it wasn't an elastic one, 83 centimetres wide, and it feels like you've got all the room in the world.
It does,
I think that's to do with that centre bit.
Quite possibly.
I think that's what that is. But either way, marvellously comfortable.
Yeah.
As you know, we have made the table, and this is how it goes up. It stores on the beds. So the legs are over here, and then the top is over here, and the pipe sits there. And when we're travelling, we just fold those over, and that stops any slidage. Works really well. So on we go. Right, so I'll just put that up there, put that on there, falls off as you do, connect it up. My dog, my pup, there we go, sits there. And there we are, just in position. Handy for guests. Handy for guests so you can have a drink. You can put it in the middle for 4 of you to share and get 4 drinks on there, which works out very nicely. You could, if you didn't have the white one, it would sit there for the pair of us to share. But mostly it sits there, so while I'm sat in that chair, there you go, somewhere to work. And if you like, you can get your feet up while you're working. All good. That's the table. See? Doddle. And then you get to use it for showing people what you're doing with your glasses when you're travelling, because that's one of the most... I mean, they rattle like hell if you're not careful, but we found the solution.
Right, the glasses we keep again on the bed in this box here. So I'll bring it out. In fact, I'll put it on the table. Shall I put it on the table?
Yeah, put it on the table.
Right, inside it's, well, I haven't just got glasses in, but there you go. All sorts of thingies. There are dividers which will take up to a long-stemmed wine glass. Because there's only the 2 of us, we tend to carry things for 4 people. So when we get to where we're going, you just come out of here, up there, Mustn't forget the mugs for my coffee.
The important ones, the gin glasses.
Gin glasses and 2 extra glasses. And that's basically all we need if we do have a smaller mug, which actually fits in underneath. And that's fine. This then zips back up and goes in the boot or garage, whichever way you would call it.
And how does that work for us?
So far, so good.
A couple of minutes to set up, isn't it?
It is. We used to have what material? I can't remember.
It's like neoprene
like
foam.
Neoprene, which had cut out bits in, and that worked great in our previous van. But the size we had doesn't fit in any of the cupboards. We would have had to cut it down. Therefore, you get less room to store anything. So this seemed a much better idea, that we could put all the glasses in one, and mugs, all this, different sizes and of crockery, not crockery, glasses. Works for us.
See? Nice little zippy up box. There's the solution.
Yeah, for us it works well. So far, so good.
Yes, really pleased with that. And obviously, we've got the Starlink that we carry. Now, my back and my size are such that the hecky at the back of the van is it's not quite an immovable object, but I am quite an irresistible force. So my darling wife, Jill, this good-looking woman to my right, is responsible for putting the Starlink up, and it's really onerous, isn't it, Pet?
The first time was, yes. But now I'm getting the hang of it now. Now I know what I'm doing and where it's going and in which order it goes in.
Oh, yes, that's important because, and we hadn't realised this, the cable unplugs at both ends. So I put the cable down through the plug hole in the boot in the garage of the van, which you'll have seen us using for connecting up the EcoFlows with the external power in. So it goes down through there. I get enough out to be able to chuck it up to Jill, who catches it. Do you wind it once round the post? I've never looked.
Oh, I never thought about that.
It's a good idea to stop it from getting pulled out by the rain. The wind, if there is any, and then she clags it into the. I need to stop doing that action, don't I?
You do, yes.
I do apologise. Clags it into the Star V mount, which is firm, isn't it?
Yes, yeah, hasn't budged.
Hasn't budged. Plugs it into that, and then off you go. And while we were down at Harrogate, I registered speeds of 240 megabits per second down and as high as 42 up. Not at the same time, it has to be said, but we did.
Yeah. No, it's worked well. It's worked really well.
It's done really well, yes. We actually uploaded Friday's video via Starlink and Thursday's video via Starlink, and I'm really pleased by that.
And we were able to help some friends out.
Yes. Bev and Jez of the Motorhome Miles were able to piggyback onto it to do what they needed to do.
They were on the other side of the area that we were on.
Yes, I would say that they were a good 40 yards away.
Yeah, at least.
And the Starlink
they
got
were
to them.
Struggling to get
yes,
internet.
So and they managed to get logged on, which is excellent, excellent. And one other thing occurred while we were down at the Harrogate show, which I shall put in some footage here that Jez Miles shot and sent to Jill of yours truly on a mobility scooter. You better explain why this has happened, Jill.
Well, some of you will know, some of you won't know that David's been struggling for quite a long time. But David being David would never give up. Many, many moons ago, we had a very serious accident on his motorbike, which has left him with one leg shorter than the other and various other issues. And now he's finding, walking a distance is quite a challenge. So he gave a mobility scooter a go, to see if it made life any easier for him getting around the show. He's unable to do any walking of any distance. So he gave it a go, and it made quite a considerable amount of difference.
It certainly
Not
did.
only to the distance he could get, i.e. all the way around the show, but also, probably psychologically as well. Because he'd seen everything that everybody was talking about. He hadn't missed out. He didn't have to sit out on anything. And it was great for Kira and I to have him with us all the time while we're walking around.
That was the major benefit. I was able to stay with the party of people that we were with and get round and try everything out. The big bonus, of course, is I had something to sit on when they had to stand, which is rather nice. So I hired one on the Saturday, and then met up with AS Electro. I'll put it under here, the name of the company, who had said on the Saturday that if I fancied it, they would let me have one for the full day, free of charge, to see whether or not that was going to be something that I would want to use. Set it up, fitted it up for me perfectly, and then off we went. I didn't utilise Mode 2 very often. Mode 2 cannot be used in public arenas legally. But if you don't tell anybody, who's going to know? And it does go quite quickly, which for a motorbiker is a good thing. It's got wheelie bars. So we've got one, so David can get about the place when I've got backpacks full of cameras and all kinds of stuff. And yes, you'll see how that goes on in the weeks and months ahead. It doesn't mean that I'm not going to try and walk about the place.
Oh, no.
Because I can guarantee you, while we were at Harrogate, I walked to the pub and back every night.
Yeah, I mean, it's not don't know the word. There are various things, David, the pair of us have got to really concentrate on losing weight.
Yes.
More exercise, not just walking. Strengthening muscles that have probably got a little bit left behind, shall we say. And that's part of our package, isn't it?
Yes.
Yeah.
Getting old's rotten, but the alternative's worse.
That's right, absolutely.
So we're going to try and grow old disgracefully. And my hope is that the mobility scooter will be for a couple of years and no more. But having said that, given that my consultant in 1979, when the nastiness occurred, told me I'd be in a wheelchair by the time I was 60, and I'm 68 now, I think I've done quite well to get this far, to be honest.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there you go. You'll see. I'm not going to put footage of it in now. I just want to explain in case anybody sees us around in the mobility scooter. Yes, I've got one. No, I'm not being a lazy git. I just cannot walk far enough to be able to do what everybody else can do. But we're working on it. Mm-hmm. It's all Absolutely. Good. Yes. Yeah. The other thing we've noticed as well is that our dog loves the van more than she does the house. It's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
She has had an absolute whale of a time while we've been away. I mean, she must have walked our little cotton socks off.
She's we worked out, she's doing about 16 miles over the weekend.
Yes, which might not be a lot for a working dog, but it certainly is for a pampered pooch.
Well, quite. It's a long way for me as well.
That's true. Not so much me. Because one thing I did try, we didn't know whether or not I would be able to walk the dog in this mobility scooter. Turns out she likes nothing better than all the prance alongside. It was like a thoroughbred racehorse prancing alongside us. It was lovely. So I'm looking forward to more of that. That'll all be good. Yes, it's been really nice. Got folded out dog balls for her. and you know about the pegs, so that should make life easier. I have to say though, going back to the show, I was a little bit disappointed that there weren't many new innovations there.
Yeah.
Everything we've seen, aside from those pegs,
Yeah.
we've seen before.
Mm-hmm. But I suppose there is a limit to, maybe it's next year.
Maybe it's next year, yes.
But there's certainly a lot more exhibitors there, and certainly a lot more people there, which is great to see.
And a lot more dogs.
Yes, because now dogs are allowed inside. It makes a big difference.
And I tell you something else as well. I was really pleased to see that I never saw one dog fight.
No.
I heard a few warning shots across the bell.
Mm-hmm.
Even Madam growled once.
Mm-hmm.
But never saw any dog fights.
No.
So I'm going to tip my hat to all you dog owners that were there. You've obviously done a good job with your pets. That was lovely.
Yeah.
And I've so many different beautiful dogs. And the odd rat on a string.
Just leave it as beautiful dogs.
I'll leave it as beautiful dogs. I'm still not cutting it out. Anyway, yes, so there you are. We don't know whether we're going to get away between now.
Just before we move on.
Oh, sorry.
You were going to put some more footage up of Rudding Park, weren't you?
Jill had a wander around Rudding Park. And aside from the fact that it is humongous, and that's number one, and number two, that's where we're staying next year for the show.
It really is lovely.
It's absolutely amazing. Jill had a wander about the place, the footage of which is coming in now.
We've got the dog run, the dog area. It's not the biggest on the planet, but at least it's a bit of somewhere you can let the dog off the lead. So there's the children's play area. Nice big area for them. Lots of different activities. And over the hedge there is the Deer House family pub, which is fabulous. Really good. View across the estate towards the hotel, and all this area is the golf course. Apart from that big tree, of course, down the bottom. There's lots of what appear to be seasonal pictures. A lot of people doing a lot of work to their particular area. Not as many motorhome pictures. Probably do with a few more hard standing, especially if you have a winter like, well, it's hardly winter now, is it? But weather like we've been having. But this way, come on. So that's the side of the Deer House family pub. And through the windows is the outdoor swimming pool, which it's not very big, but I believe you can book it. They do lessons as well. Some lodges this side here. Very busy over the weekend. It's quiet now. Lots and lots of people went home yesterday. Kira, stop. We'll go. I can see some other lodges down the bank. Lots of evidence of the wet grass. People have been helped out to go home. It's going to take a while for it to dry out thoroughly. There's Bev and Jez's van. No. And then back to us.
What do you make of that then? I mean, you love it there, don't you?
I do. I do.
We, for the first time ever, we were pitched up right beside the rubbish bins and Elson Point and grey water disposal point, which was actually kind of set back and separated from us by a hedge. But we had our own little entrance to it at the back of the van to get to the Elsan point. And I must admit, I was a little bit worried that it was going to be a never-ending noise fest. Now, given how full our part of the site was, it wasn't, was it? We didn't get...
No, funnily enough, the noisiest was 6 o'clock on Friday morning.
What was that?
Somebody was emptying their bottles into the recycle bin because it woke me up. And I thought, oh, this is going to be lovely if this is going to... That's the only time we heard anybody.
But
so,
whoever it was, chucking, I don't know how many glass bottles of...
They'd always had a good night.
Empty bottles of kudos for having a good night.
Yeah.
I will tell you, though, it didn't wake me up.
Well, no.
This van's remarkably quiet and warm.
It was on my side. And
yes.
Yeah.
But, yes.
But a lovely, lovely site.
In fact, I'm going to give it a 9.77413 recurring out of 10. What would you give it?
9.9.
No adventure. No, it's cracking.
Certainly 9.
It's
For
cracking.
us, it would have been easier if there'd been a drive over motorhome point. But
Having said that, and having realised that, the one thing, it's probably the one thing about this van that I find difficult, and it's a compromise, and it's fine if you've got drive over motorhome points where you can get rid of your grey. But the outlet for it is too close to the centre line of the van for me. It's well beyond the wheel arch. So, just to prove that I'm not completely crippled, I got on my back yesterday and I went in and connected up, to try it out, a collapse pipe with some orange string such that we can connect up onto a
string, it's cord. There's
paracord.
A huge difference between string and...
Paracord, it's orange paracord.
Oh.
You'll see in the video, this is what I've done. So as you can see, it goes from the outlet, because it's a pumped outlet, and it'll go through the collapse pipe via the orange paracord out to where the nozzle is, and then that'll all connect up down to wherever the drain point is. Yeah. So we've done that. We'll see how that goes. If it falls off, I know how to get it back on, and that's the beauty as well, of course, of having the auto self-leveling, the HY4 self-leveling system. Right. All I needed to do was pump it up to full height, and there will be people full of health and safety who will say, you should have put axle stands in. I probably should. I didn't have any. And the way I see it, hell, if it can crush me, let it. It wasn't going to come down. We've bounced up, not that way. We've bounced up and down in this van, and the legs have never flackered. I was quite happy to get under there and sort it out. It was just like it being up on the hydraulic jacks when it got the jacks fitted. So I wasn't having any, I've got no problem with that. So that's fitted. We'll see how that goes. I tell you what, it's all good fun, isn't it?
It is. But we had a fabulous weekend.
Yes.
And thank you so much to all the subscribers who stopped us and had time to have a chat. It was lovely. Thank you so much.
Yes.
And people who weren't originally subscribers that we got chatting to, and subsequently
the viewers and they've left comments and yes. Thank you so much for everybody that took time out of their day to talk to us. That was lovely. And to Colin at Yorkshire Pop Top Adventures, go and watch him. Very, very different kind of motorised camping, I'll call it.
Yes.
Go and watch Colin and Shell and their daughter and their dog. They get all over the place in a little T6, T5, T something VW. Go and watch Yorkshire Pop Top Adventures. I shall leave a link in the section down below, the description, as it were. Also to Bob and Jenny Earnshaw We spent a fair amount of time with Bob and Jenny, even ate with them.
Yeah.
Cracking night, thanks Bob and Jenny. It was marvellous. To
Really enjoyed it.
Jez and Bev Miles of the Motorhome Miles. I'm going to be putting lots of links down here, aren't I?
I know. But it's worth it. These people
Were fantastic company, and they work hard to entertain you.
Yeah.
They do.
And Peter and Heather.
And Peter and Heather. Paul and Heather.
Paul. Where did we get Peter from?
Peter, Paul and Mary. That was a different place in a different time. Paul and Heather.
Yeah.
Paul Sparrow, who has subscribed to every channel I've ever run.
Bless him.
And he's a cracking fella. The both of them, both Paul and Heather, they don't have a channel, so don't worry about that. But thank you to you lot. Everybody, I can't name check everybody that we've spoken to, because we've spoken to so many people and enjoyed meeting every last one. And you've made a happy man feel very old. Strike that, reverse it. Old man very happy.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. We'll pull it there because this one does tell us how long it is, and it'll be longer than that with the video in. So they are. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you have, you know what to do. Clickety bong, ding ding, wordy, press. That's it.
That's it.
All of that. And we'll see you on the next one, won't we?
We will. Yeah.
But until then, enjoy the roads.
Enjoy the sky.
But most of all, enjoy your lives. Because life rocks when you're living round walls. See you later.
Bye.